What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is the 29th of January, the second to last trading day of this month, and it's been a tough month, and today was a rough day for me in the market. Well, rough day on the account. Took a massive hit today, down another pretty much 2.5%. Another 2.5% down. I'm not so thrilled about it. This account is not going as planned or as expected, But I honestly only have myself to blame for that because I'm the one that broke my rules, and I'm the one that took the trades, and I'm the one that put on the risk, and I just have to accept it. So let's get right into the video today. So let me show you, before I even go any further, show you. So this is the account as of today. I'm down to 94,000. Today I lost 2.35% actually, and yeah, another leg down. I was trying to recover here, and see, I'm back down to here. It's not the first time it's coming down to here, but it's a little bit lower now, yeah, it is what it is. I took some trades today that I shouldn't have really took, and I paid the price. I'll go through my thought process. So see, I took like, technically this is like two trades right here, and this is another two up here. So I'll show you the executions, and I'll go over the price action and show you what actually happened today. I took these trades on my phone. If you notice, the lot size is constant. I wasn't using magic keys on this trade. So see, after this I was up this amount. This is actually the first trade that I took on the market, and this was a trade that I should have went in heavy on. And I don't know, it's just the way the market works, or the way the mind works, to be honest, because this trade that I could have bagged almost any amount of percentage, I could have recovered the account, I could have been in profit, I could have even passed the challenge with the kind of loss that I took today. If I had put on that kind of risk in the opposite direction, then I would have made some decent money, to be honest, from this entry right here. So I saw this trade here, and I decided to take a sell, and I didn't trust it. Was expecting a bit of a bounce, so I took the trade like that, and I was expecting, this is after a partial by the way, way after, because I saw it and I sold right here. My initial TP was somewhere here, and then I just deleted because I realized that's the direction we're going. I was expecting us to kind of push up before, and that didn't happen. So, kind of just spiral from there, but we live to fight another day. Can I recover after this account? Yes, surely it can be recovered. Will it take a lot? Yes, it will take a lot. So let me show you what happened today. So this is Nasdaq now. See, we coming right back down. I was expecting this kind of drop. So see we coming right back down now. Let me look at trading view and see. Can't believe. So it already roll over and coming down right now. Ah boy. So I miss I miss this entry right now. So we coming down pretty heavy. since the Asia session really got into full gear. But anyways, there'll always be other opportunities. So currently this is the whole entire week. Um, we opened up with a bit of a gap. So see the today candle here, all of this is today's candle. So we're pretty much reversing all of the weekly candle right now from the gap up. And I think we're going actually, because today the weekly candle almost flipped back red. And I think we eventually going to come and take out this low. We traded down into this new week opening gap. Is the first time since we created it um, this week. So this is just some weird price action after the market made all-time highs. Well, Nasdaq didn't make all-time highs, but SPX made all-time highs. You know, just a few. Well, yesterday actually. Yesterday we made all-time highs. You know, and I just got flustered and better I didn't take any trades today. I was saying to myself that I was not going to trade so heavy on the account while I'm at work, but sometimes you break your rules and that is the result of it. If it did work, it'd have better, but it is what it is. So see the weekly candle, this is the current daily candle. Very large range. So today from top to bottom we did over 700 points from the drop today. So we kind of came down from the previous day, but we came back up and then now we started selling off from overnight, and then now we go back into buying up, then we started selling again. That's the higher time frame. US 30 kind of did the same thing, except we kind of run up a little bit more. SPX take a big hit too, coming all the way down before retracing. And even gold did a massive drop today. Massive drop. Came down, and then even though we recovered, but see, it's actually doing the same thing as SPX. We're coming down and the same way. So that is the higher time frame. Let me get to 1 hour now. So on the 1 hour time frame, let me show you what we look like. So on the 1 hour time frame, so see where we had a little bit of a volatility right into the close during some earnings report or something. Then we closed out the session and went back up. So we went back up during the overnight session, and by the time we got into London, we started selling off again. Selling from this other block that I have right here, coming all the way down. So we started selling off before we got into New York, and I was expecting a bit of a push up. Let me show you on the 15-minute what I was expecting there. So this was what I was expecting us to come back up to here at least, but we had already did enough distribution. And the thing is, when you're on your phone, if you're not paying keen attention, especially when you're distracted, it's not so easy. So we had the gap here and we traded back into it overnight. So we didn't return during New York. We just started to drop. This spike up here, I was expecting a bit of a higher spike before coming down, but that didn't occur. The market just started just coming down. I took a sell right inside of here before 9:30, and this was when I should have just put in the full volume, and take the risk and set the stop up here. If I had even risked like $200, risking just going with one of those 5 lot, then this could have been a much different outcome. Even TP at the lows here or at the lows here, it would have been $1,000 a day, and I just didn't do that. So I took the entry, scaled out most of it by the time we got down to here. The reason why I didn't want to go into it heavy, we've been inside this consolidation for a while now. And honestly, I didn't want to get spiked out. The market has a tendency of spiking up when we get into New York, which would have been right here. This thing needs to be restarted. Let me show you. The market has a tendency of spiking at the open, the NYSE open, and I was trying to avoid getting stopped out on that spike. So it tends to come up and then do this. Today it was only this little wick here before we just decided to drop like that. Now, when we decided to roll over like that, I should have just added into the sell right there with some wider stops and just let it run. But I was still expecting pullback, fear, honestly, fear. Expecting it to pull back and I didn't add. So when we realized that it's going to sell off all the way down now, after we ran the lows at the R, before we ran the lows, I was expecting say maybe we're going to get a bounce because I'm saying okay, the sell is over, we're going to retrace back into the range. Today, that wasn't the case. So we just continued selling and took a buy here and I lost a percent. 1% there. And then I decided to try again here, and that's how I lost another percent and change. We went into profit for about $500, which would have worked out to about 0.5%. I didn't take off any because I wanted to recover the loss. And went into profit, I didn't take off any, and that's when the market continued to sell. And I had to close out because I didn't want to get liquidated. So we decided to just continue selling like that. And then now after we decided to rally. So I got stopped out on the sales. I'm going to show you the execution on the lower time frame. Let me show you on this chart right here. So right now I'm still holding. Going on here. I'm still holding the sell. So see, guys, this is the entry right here. Let me zoom in and show you. This is the entry. Perfect entry that I got right around here. And I was expecting the spike up here to come back above. That didn't happen. And let me show you the entries for the buys. So, where was it? Yeah, this is when I took out the partial right here after I ran the lows. And I was at work. When I saw this retracement, as I was looking at a 5-minute inversion here, and I thought, well, I just pull back, test this as an order block, and then continue. So I went into the trade here, some buys right here. And that's when I should have just had stop loss below here, but I was expecting the market to flush down and then retrace. This is right in the 9 o'clock candle. Right here is 9:30, so 9 o'clock candle. Looking at the 10 a.m. candle, I was expecting us to bounce a little bit, so farm a little bit of a wick to the downside and then come back up, because I wasn't really bearish. So when I was looking at that, we did all of that, and it just didn't return. It just didn't return to my entry. So we sold off. I tried to add into it, and this was where I went into profit, came back down here, and I added right here, and I should just take off everything because I was on the phone, so I didn't even realize that this is an order block. I could have even flipped bias and decided to sell, but I didn't. I didn't. And I just decided, you know what, this thing going to take out the low, and I just close out here and just call it a day. Like, I feel, defeated today. and I was at work, so I have to just get back into the work mode and just focus and continue doing what I had to do. And there were so many opportunities to buy after being as a other bullish bias. This was basically impulsive, trying to make back the gains, and that's how it happened. And to look back that after we did all of this, we bought all the way up, but I couldn't hold this. That doesn't make no sense. You know, it is what it is. So let me show you the opportunities that took place. So looking back at this now, EA's session gave us a nice retracement by couldn't trade this part right here. This is PM session going right into the close or after hours really. And we bought up through Asia going into London. There were some decent entry opportunities here. And these are some of the trades that you can actually get some good risk on, especially if you are like using a futures account, or if you're really dialed in. So this is a decent entry right here. Decent entry right there. Using even this fair value gap, this is another decent entry right there. So one entry here, one more entry here, another one here, and we'll just keep building and just going up, 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 going into New York. Last night, I wasn't at my best really. Some other external factors, but and that is the reason why I didn't even wake up for London session. But the London session gave us a nice little buy from this order block right here. Nice little buy opportunity from this order block right here. And this gave us a nice little buy. And these are the kind of trades that you can risk. So even 1/4% and with the kind of stop that you're getting and your risk management and entry and point, then you can get a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 easily. But at this point I have to actually say maybe it's just lazy why I don't catch some of these because but I'm just exhausted enough time. I can't stay up to catch these trades. So this was London session, bit of a going up, going down. Another entry opportunity from here to here. It was this order block and they came back into it here. One entry here, back down here. So that was during London. It's a bit of a rangy session overnight before we decided to just roll over. So this morning right around 4, the entry chart rolling over or even inside this macro right here, right at 450 going into 5. Selling off or even right around 6, 7. All of these macros were screaming sell. So 6 was the beginning of a 4-hour candle, the one that ends at 10, and this was a big sell off. So any one of these hourly candles, even though they were sideways, would have given us a nice little entry opportunity to go lower. By the time we got to 9, when the volatility injection comes in, we get a massive sell off. My entry was here, but really and truly, this was an ideal entry to even add in the trade, but I didn't right there. See, a nice little inversion when I'm thinking buys. This was a beautiful entry to go short. Right on this inversion, right in the macro. This could have netted me an easy probably 1 to 6, 1 to 7 depending on where you get your entry. The stop is a bit wide there for 60 some points, but the risk to reward, this is 400 points to the low here. This is 1 to 6 actually. Depending on where you set your stop going down, this is a decent trade right here. Very beautiful trade right there. Then by the time we got to 11, we had a bounce, and this was the when I should have placed buys. So that was the buy opportunity right there. Entry opportunity to go long. 1 at 11, and going into lunchtime, this was another one right here. So buy is right there before we come back down again. So using this fair value gap, we sold off there, but the sale was pretty much already over from there, like the major move had already happened. And then now this would have been the retracement leg, and it didn't feel good to watch this come back all the way up, and I didn't even get to capitalize. I could have actually recovered if I was like on the chart, but I had already lost pretty much enough for the day, and I decided, you know what, let me just leave this thing alone. But this could have been one by entry. One by entry there. I don't know how to restart my like this. And by entry here. And these are some pretty tight risk to reward stops in these levels, some nice little order blocks right there, right there. And these trees have plenty some good going to the PM session as well. So this is right through lunchtime when it was said. And you know we have another entry right here. And this is to end the day. We rallied all the way back up. So it was not up the end, but a beautiful trade nonetheless. So that is really it. The account is not blown. I'm down about 5.5% or 6%. I just need to be more precise and patient and get some trades and but I really believe I can to blow. This is for today's video, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.